Tesla driving into some new delivery numbers. The China Passenger Car Association reporting that the company sold 33,155 China-made electric cars in June. Nonetheless, those shares down 2%. We're going to discuss those numbers and more this hour, a little bit later this hour, with Morgan Stanley's Adam Jonas. So stay tuned for that. Finally, I just mentioned it before, but keep an eye on yields. The 10-year dipping far below.
Wow. Welcome back, everybody. I'm so excited to be back here today. Will Didi spike the Chinese stocks? Wow, this is such a freaking big topic for the past few days. You know, the Chinese stocks got completely slaughtered by the Emperor Xi Jinping, not the president. I want to say president, but no, it is by the Emperor Huangdi Xi Jinping. All right. So you know, this is a really tough time for Chinese stocks listed in the U.S. market, and a kind of a confusion for everybody. We're trying to make sense. Like, hey, what exactly is going on? You want to raise money in my shores, and then you kind of drop bomb on us. Like 2 days after that, you tell the whole world Didi cannot get new subscribers, and new subscribers cannot download the Didi app. Now this is really devastating, and it's not the most pleasant of all to kind of encounter when you bought into the IPO and 2 days later they drop a bombshell. So I'm going to analyze using Didi as a framework. I'm going to show you how we go about analyzing this very unique situation, and so that we don't fall into this what I call the value trap. All right. So step one, really critical right now. What we need to do is to pull out a very important article. Hopefully I did I share this article, or I didn't share? I haven't shared this article yet. All right, maybe you can take a look at this one first, and then we go on to talk about the rest. All right. So here we go. First one is we take a look at the Didi market. Go to Didi step 1, and here we go. So we always click on the 5-day. 5-day will give us the right context. All right. So the 5-day is found right here, and just make sure you navigate to the 5-day. Click on it. Then you get to see the complete devastation of this beautiful company. And you know, I kind of feel very sorry for Didi, because back in 2018-19, you know, the family of office reached out to us and say, hey, you know, we want to release some shares to kind of get some cash out. And that's from the family office of the owner, all right? And back then we were toying the idea that perhaps we can secure the Didi shares and tokenize the share and tie up with Bitcoin Cash. So we pitched this idea to Roger Ver, we pitched this idea to Didi family office, but unfortunately things didn't work out. And if things work out back then, they don't have to kind of force themselves to go IPO right now. So they are really in urgent need to kind of deliver a returns for their major shareholders. So this is the kind of pressure that every tech company will go through, and where the early investors, they're always looking for opportunities to cash out. So that's point number 1. Point number 2, right now, we kind of trace the whole genealogy. So they rang the bell right here, right? Opening price right here at a kind of $17. And then the next day, day 2, kind of drop a little bit and come down to the range of $16. Day 3 kind of drop a little bit to $15. So you all must see how I go about tracking it, right? $15. And day 4, the bombshell came. Chinese government prevents Didi users from downloading the app. Day 5 continue to drop, and day 6 right now, mama, holy moly, Didi is completely removed from all the app store in China. So this will continue to slide down. All right. So we start from 17 divided by 2, that should hit about 8.5, and so we are still got some more room to go from 11 to 8.5. So please write it down really loud and clear. Please do not catch a falling knife. Here we go. So all of you, please write down in the comments box, do not catch a falling knife. All right, I want to see you writing down this on the comments box, whether you're on YouTube today with me or on the Facebook live stream. Please do not catch a falling knife. All right, you will be very tempted to go to the dark side, but your teacher here is going to hold you back. Okay, so what is the analogy of the falling knife? And I share with you, we have more room to go for Didi to fall further. And I'm going to give you a really classic benchmark. When all things bad happen at the same time, what is the best example to look at? Here we go. We're going to look at Facebook. And I'm going to use Facebook as the framework to kind of determine the falling knife concept, all right? So we're going to stretch all the way to the first day of the IPO. And I kind of, move the charts really, really fast. Stretch all the way, all right? So, you are looking at a real falling knife right here, right? Didi is not that bad. The real falling knife is Facebook. And again, I need to mark out to you how to see how much further Didi has to drop, okay? So, step one. Step one. Here we go. Average price is about $40. Okay? And back then it's even more terrible for Facebook because they have zero ad revenues for mobile. And they go to Wall Street and pitch the idea, oh, we launched a mobile app and but we got zero mobile revenues. And they have the highest valuation in its time, right? And the worst thing, on the first day of trading, all the fanatical fans of Facebook, including myself, went into the market and buy like crazy. I was one of the largest retail Facebook IPO traders according to the bankers in town, all right? And the exchange crashed. The exchange crash resulted in the loss of confidence on Facebook. Bam! The next day dropped for the $40 dropped to 35. 35 dropped to 27.5, all right? 27.5 dropped to 22.5, and finally it dropped to this level. What is this level? Mama, that's $17. So if you take 40 to 17.5, that's close to about half. 40 divided by 2 is 20, so it's about half. Just think of it divided by 2. So if we use this as the benchmark, then obviously Didi got more room to fall further. Okay, so this is step one. Now, if this is in the benchmark right now, then Jolliver, we better look at all the Chinese stocks out there. How have they performed? And the second example we're going to look at right now is Baba. Now, Baba also gone through a hard time, and you know, this was like, oh my gosh. We're going to connect the dots about China and the ban of Ant Financial. All right, so this is really, really painful to look at, and so I'm going to put out this piece of news for you and kind of show you back then when they announced the ban of 2 days before the Shanghai exchange. All right, they launched their IPO on Shanghai. So let me give you the timeline. And here we go. I'm trying to get the timeline for that. Maybe it's around here. And financial. Okay, I want to get the exact date, all right? So I'm not getting the date out here. I'm not too sure why is that. So, okay, I think this is the place to get the date. Ready? Here we go. So we go to Wikipedia, look at Ant Financial, and then we kind of pick out the important dates, right? So in October 2020, Ant Group was set to raise 34.5 billion in the world's largest IPO at the time. Okay, some of you are not able to see that clearly. Let me just try my best to zoom in really nicely, all right? So that was like the biggest IPO at this time. On the eve of the IPO, China stopped the process from moving forward. And that's in October. And can you imagine, this is like so freaking painful, right? That's on the 3rd of November, this article was published. So when we're going to take a look at what Bloomberg said over here, oh my gosh, this thing pop up again. No worries, we just have to go back again one more step. So we take it as October 20th, and from here we go to right here. October 20th is around here. I believe this is the big backdrop. Okay, so one more time, let me click. One more time, let me click. Ready for the 4 boxes? Here we go. October, this was the big backdrop. All right. So at the point in time, you take the price, take it as $300. All right, for easy sake, $300. Now it has not gone through the worst yet. Divided by 2, that's 150, and right now it's already at 210. And again, I always use the 50% to kind of discount it for the worst that can happen. So Alibaba holding strong at 210, but I can tell you there's more room for it to drop. And I believe it'll drop all the way to 300 divided by 2, about $150. So Didi is going to reach the halfway mark. Alibaba is going to reach the halfway mark. And this is exactly how Facebook has reached the halfway mark. So what I'm preparing for all of us here today is, will Didi spike Chinese stocks? And every Chinese stock right now is in severe threat, because we cannot fathom what the Chinese government is thinking about. All right, looks like they want to destroy every guy that want to list in the US market and force them to list on Hong Kong Exchange. So the jewel of the crown right now is Hong Kong Exchange. I think this is the mandate. So yesterday I was watching CNBC, and one of them was saying that, you know, one of the reasons why they really want to bring down Didi was that one of the board of directors was actually a graduate from West Point. And how many of you know about West Point? All right, West Point is like the #1 military school in the world. And they were very afraid that if you have a board of director from West Point, this guy will be spying in the Chinese market. And that's how fearful they are right now. Because Didi is able to carry passengers that include government officials. And they have the data. Not only that, they know where to pick up the government officials and what is the special secret route to travel from point A to point B. All this is being captured by Didi. And that's the reason why they are freaking out. And they say that, hey, there's a West Point graduate sitting in the board. This guy is going to have privy into the information. And that is really hair-blowing in the sense that if you start thinking like this, then jolly well, a board of directors sitting in Apple, he will going to know our password or username. Does that make sense? No. There's this thing called encryption, right? So let me show you my mobile phone right now. This is an encryption that nobody can mess with, not even the FBI or the CIA. And Didi could go about building their Didi app with the highest encryption level that give confidence to the marketplace. But you know, that all said and done, Wall Street is saying that China is calling the bluff right now. They just want to destroy this IPO. They just want to stop every Chinese company. There are 2 other companies right now affected, and the whole string of Chinese companies listed and have been affected. So I received an email today from Katie Woods. Their funds have already started selling all the Chinese stocks. And that's from ARK Invest. And that's the first reaction. Everybody is dumping Chinese-related stocks that's listed in the NASDAQ or NYSE. So what's going on? What exactly is the government thinking about? You want them to raise money and you go out there to sabotage them. And right now, this is forcing the politicians to show hands. What are the politicians doing right now? They are saying that this is a sabotage. We cannot allow Chinese companies to list on US soil anymore. You know, They raised the money from Americans. 2 days later, they dropped a bomb. Everybody got killed. And once the politicians are alerted about this, they're going to pass into legislation. And that completely closed off the doors of China. You know, I'm really big about this topic because our founding father Lee Kuan Yew was the man that inspired Deng Xiaoping to open up the economic doors of China. And the first project that we really embarked on was the Suzhou Industrial Park, Suzhou 工业区, right? And my dad was involved. He was among the first factories to set up plant in Suzhou, and he was living away from me, and I know he was needed there just to get the factory running. And there were so many sabotages by the Chinese government. They set up a parallel industrial park next to the one that's created by Singapore government. Copied everything that we do, stopped the water from coming in, and stopped the sewerage from going out. That's how bad it was back then, all right? And we kind of pay a high price, or we call tuition fees. You know, took some flick for that, especially Madam Ho Chin from Temasek was leading the investment, and everybody took the flick for it, all right? But, you know, today we maintain very strong relations between Singapore and China. Now, there's some history for all of us, but the big subject right now tonight is about Didi. So I want to show you this to warn you that there is more room for it to drop another 50%, and that's like 17 divided by 2, 8.5. Now, what's going to happen after that? The question is, teacher, will you buy Didi stocks when it goes and travel to, let's say, 8.8 or 8.5, $8.50? I'm telling you, please do not touch a falling knife because it will continue to fall. Right now, once this campaign has started, and the single agenda is not just US stocks getting killed right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is getting killed right now. This, as you know, is Bitcoin. And who is going all out to kill Bitcoin? Again, it's the Chinese government. All right. So, my friends, I want you to know this is a very, very interesting era of our life. And if the Chinese wants to kill Bitcoin, I'm talking about the Chinese government, they will want to sabotage it, because the data that I got among the whales of the crypto world is that the Chinese believe 70% of the Bitcoin are owned by the Americans. And if they depress the price of Bitcoin, all the wealth of the Americans will deplete overnight. All right? But we are holding on to the fort. Where is the fort that we are holding on right now, Mama? Come on, play some music. Play wrong music one more time. Woo! We are holding on to the fort at the 40,000 and the 30,000 range. We are holding really strong here, refusing to retreat. That's why it couldn't break below 30,000, despite all this bad news. Now we know the real agenda of the Chinese. They want to stop Chinese companies from raising money in the US for whatever reasons that is bewildering the entire Wall Street. They want to stop their own Chinese people from owning Bitcoin to deplete the price. They already successfully banished 90% of the Bitcoin mining in China. They have also successfully stopped Chinese exchanges to stop trading Bitcoin. So what is the number one agenda? Are you ready, my friends? Why don't I give you a chance, all right? Why don't you type on the comment box, what do you think is the single-minded focus of the Chinese, that they want to destroy their own Chinese companies in the US stock market? They want to destroy their own Chinese playing Bitcoin in the world. Type in your answer in the comment before I reveal the answer to you. Here we go. The question is, what is the number one agenda by the Chinese government? Here we go.
Center of attention, they all want some. I'm like fire, hot as the sun. The dance floor is burning, call 911.
Wow, you guys are really, really good. You pointed out the right answer, and the answer is the digital yuan. But how do we relate that back? That is the challenge right now. That means to say the digital yuan has a much higher agenda than what we perceive it to be. So I'm going to show you how to interpret that. Ready? Here we go. On my right, this is Bitcoin. Right? I'm looking at 1 day candle. And you are very familiar on the three important red boxes. The first red box is right here. Right? We call it the Elon Musk candle. The second box is right here at the peak. The third box is right here. And again, it's the Elon Musk candle. Alright? And with together with the Chinese band. So we look at this. It goes up. It comes down. But it wants to bring it further down than this range. Worst news already came out. 90% of the Bitcoin farms already migrated out. Second worst news have come out. They want to stop Chinese companies from listing in US, NASDAQ or NYSE. What could be a potential third news that will come out that will bring everybody down? Ready? So what I'm seeing is right here, I'm going to switch the candle to a 15-minute candle. And see for yourself right here, alright? So you must be aware of the date I'm looking at below. This is 7th of July yesterday. And this is 8th of July today. Alright, I'm looking at these 2 days. And before the crash, 35,000. Alright? And right now, you are spotting this crazy volume coming in here. And straight away, boom, dropped to 32,000. But we are holding strong. We refuse to let it drop below 32,000. And why $32,000 right now is an important mark? Because I'm going to demonstrate to you right now. Ready? I'm going to start moving to the left. I squeeze until you cannot squeeze. Right? So remember, we already have one time 32,000 here. I'm going to find all the time of the 32,000. I move to the left. Another 32,000 right here. Mama, 32,000 right here. 2 times already. Alright? Move. Move. 3 times. Oops. 3 times. 32,000. Alright? 3 times in a row we tested 32,000. The worst that happened before that, the lowest was 30,000. Tested 1 time. 32,000 tested 3 times. Move, continue move. Keep moving. Then this is the nightmare one, the 28,000. Alright? So we stop at 28,000 and fast forward again. 3 times we tested 32,000. The market refused to drop. So 3 things I want you all to learn tonight. Number 1, all the bad news for Bitcoin already came out already. Alright? We are just waiting for the third bad news, alright? So we hold strong at that 32,000, tested 3 times. Looks like 32,000 is a nice entry point. We are right now waiting for certain signals. Number 2, the stocks of the Chinese, I'm talking about Chinese stocks listed in US or NASDAQ, you expect them to drop 50% before all this crazy news started. Alibaba, you track from the day when Ant Financial IPO was called off. Bam. There's more room to grow to 50%. Didi 17 divided by 2, 8.5. There's more room to go for it to drop to $8. Alright? And you look at all the Chinese related stocks from KE Holdings, everybody start to dump Chinese stocks already. So always calculate 50%. That's point number 2. Point number 3, is there a chance for them to resurrect up? Alibaba, Didi, and whatever nots. Got a chance to go up? Let me tell you, no chance. I just say it very bluntly. The Chinese will not do halfway one. They will go all out. Alright, go on! Woo! And to go all out, the third thing that I'm the most fearful about, which was inspired by this video I watched yesterday. It's kind of sensitive. I'm not too sure you guys can handle it or not. Can you just give me the disclaimer on the comment that you can handle the bad news? Can you just please do that? That you can handle the bad news, all right? I want to make sure you are ready for that, and I don't want to surprise you. Can you just type in there, you can handle the really, really bad news? And that's the third point. I kind of saying it with a very, very heavy heart, all right? Ready? Give you more time to think first.
Center of attention, they all want some. I'm like fire, hot as the sun. The dance floor is burning, call 911. Hands on my body, I'm loving the heat, but it won't come easy. Nothing's for free. If you want me, then prove it, baby. I just wanna party all night long. I do it all for fun. Don't need your love. I'm a sinner. Left my lover crying on the dance floor. I'm a sinner. I'm a sinner. Left my lover crying on the dance floor. I'm a sinner. I'm a sinner.
Okay, I have all your disclaimer ready because this is a very, very sensitive topic, and I think it's very apt to bring this up. I'm going to resurrect a very, very painful idea, and here we go. This is the thing that is disturbing right now. My thinking is being influenced by this interview of our founding father. No American intervention if Taiwan is invaded by China. This was recorded in 2013, and back then, you know, our founding father is still very healthy. The mind is still very strong. And I want you guys to watch this 13-minute video. And that means to say they have already calculated that, you know, there are about 8 steps. Mr. Lee, our founding father Lee, says that step 1, if China takes over Taiwan, the Americans may come and rescue it for the first time. They may beat out the Chinese, but the Chinese will come back and attack the second time, and the third time, and the fourth time, and the fifth time. They will just keep coming back. And the Americans will have calculated that there's no way for the Americans to win. And that's the reason why the statement of this video says that no American intervention if Taiwan is invaded. So I put 3 issues at hand that we looked at recently. Number 1, why the Chinese are so adamant about destroying Bitcoin. Okay, we kind of second guess it. They want to protect their digital yuan. But then, why the Chinese are equally adamant about destroying Chinese companies listed on US soil? This has right now come into full play when we saw Didi. And that's the second point. Meaning to say, in the crypto market and in the stock market, no space for Chinese to thrive, for whatever reason that's related to the Americans. Then finally, the third theory is, perhaps are they thinking about this? I'm not too sure. The reunification of Taiwan into China. Sensitive topic, but I reference against our founding father, and that might be a possibility. All right? So all this is about being very, 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 very extreme wariness, extreme fear about what Americans are spying about Chinese behavior, Chinese data, and all that. Why? Why is there so much fear when everybody is prospering together? So defies logic, but I think this is the video that kind of inspired me about today's presentation. Will Didi spike Chinese stocks? They're going to spike much lower, below the 50%. The chances of resurrection not that high anymore. And the single agenda is to make sure Chinese digital yuan will dominate the world. But for full dominance to take place, they have to bring back all of their territories. And that means we are looking at a potential Taiwan invasion. This is not a doom and gloom video. This is not to inspire fear. This is a thesis that I connected the dots, and I want to make sure I'm reading the market correctly, and that therefore it exists a possibility, because Taiwan has been the centerpiece of chips manufacturing. Taiwan is the core of CPU production. And Taiwan has been responsible for growth of many great tech companies based in the US. And this is a jewel. So I want to end off today with a solemn tone, just for us to think about philosophically whether an invasion going to take place tomorrow. No idea. All right, but something for us to think about, sparked off by Didi's downfall, sparked off by the Bitcoin floating at 32,000 range. We are holding strong. And finally, this invasion to come. Now, if all comes to pass, then jolly well, my conclusion of the matter is Bitcoin has an even much more important role to play. This is the only coin no one can interfere, no governments can interfere. This is the coin that will be responsible for the generational shift of wealth, from old wealth to new wealth, from old folks to new folks. This is the only chance. So my friends, thank you so much. You know, tonight is a heavy video. I hope you enjoy it, and I look forward to sharing with you much more insights tomorrow. All right, so make sure you go and download our free app, and at the same time enroll into the free course. The course is not ready yet. You know, I'm just putting together the material so that, you know, you all have something to connect the dots with, and just be patient with us. All right, so God bless you, and I'm going to see you tomorrow. You are just one spike away. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.